let's discuss 5 lessons from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to apply to President Trump's America. Hey everybody, what's up? Good day, and welcome to Social Thoughts with Dr. Nick. And as we celebrate the life and accomplishments of Dr. Martin Luther King today, I really would like to discuss an article or talk about an article that I read in the Huffington Post, which did a pretty good job on discussing 5 takeaways or 5 lessons that we should apply to the presidency of Donald Trump. So let's talk about that today. One of the first things the article says is that this is not normal. And that because this is not normal, please do not fall into a false sense of complacency and just accept the next 4 years or however long Trump's presidency lasts. It's time to fight harder, be more outspoken, protest, do whatever you need to do just to show that you're not just going to lay down and accept this, but it's time to fight. It really is. Secondly, the article goes on to say that color blindness is not the solution, but economics may just be. Because think about it this way. All Trump did during his campaign was focus in on the other and focus on the distrust of the other, whether that other was immigrants coming into the country or the Black Lives Matter movement or whatever, just as a way to ostracize them. And when Dr. Martin Luther King spoke to people who were against him and other poor whites, he talked about bringing us together based on economics. And one of his quotes is, quote, "You have been put in a position of supporting your oppressors because through prejudice and blindness, you fail to see that the same forces that oppress Negroes in American society oppress poor whites too. And all you are living on is the satisfaction of your skin being white, and the drum major instinct of that thinking you are somebody big, when you are so poor you can hardly send your children to school," unquote. And the third lesson is that everyone must work towards equality and work for equality. And granted, using social media like this and Facebook and Tumblr and Twitter are a great way to meet people and organize and coordinate and connect, but you will always need people marching and protesting. You always need those boots on the ground because it's actually a show of solidarity. Think about it this way. What King was trying to say and what King actually said is that we need people from vast backgrounds. If you're, regardless of your education level, regardless of your income, regardless of whatever race you are, the more people that come together, it shows strength in the message. And you have more people being vocal about the message. So there's that old saying about strength in numbers. There it is. So yes, it's great to use social media, but we will always need people on the ground showing their support for the message for equality for everybody. And the fourth lesson from Dr. Martin Luther King is that he believed that all forms of protest should be understood. And the easy example of this is just to think back to how Donald Trump treated protesters during his campaign. During his campaign, he just pretty much brushed aside the movements like the Black Lives Matter movement and people who were protesting him on Planned Parenthood or his views on immigrants or whatever. They were always protests, but he did not engage with anyone at all. He simply just brushed them aside. And what Trump supporters like to do is they always like to invoke Dr. Martin Luther King and this concept of him and nonviolence or whatever. But Martin Luther King was more complex than that, where he said and actually believed that all forms of protest should be understood. Why are people protesting you? There has to be some sort of a communication back and forth, not just you ignoring the problem, because people are going to protest or riot or whatever due to an injustice or the lack of equality that they feel that they have been dealt. That's just human nature, and that's protected in the First Amendment. And the fifth lesson involves Dr. King's concept of love, where people like to discuss his statements and views of love and nonviolence, but they typically spin them away and they corrupt them just to promote their own personal agenda. But the reality is, Dr. King constantly spoke of a type of love called agape, where he viewed it as the highest form of love, and it was a understanding love. And just to quote Dr. King, he said, "In speaking of love, we are not referring to some sentimental emotion. It would be nonsense to urge men to love their oppressors in an affectionate sense. When we are speaking of loving those who oppose us, we speak of a love which is expressed in the Greek word agape. Agape means nothing sentimental or affectionate. It means understanding, redeeming goodwill for all men, and overflowing love which seeks nothing in return." So that's just some food for thought today. And on that note, I'm out. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned, and I will talk to you soon. Okay.